Today I'm going to be replacing the spark plugs on my 2007 Lexus is250. I've already gone ahead and removed all of the plastic covers on the engine compartment. If you need step-by-step instructions on how to remove those, please look at my other YouTube video entitled Replacing the Headlights on Your Lexus IS. We're going to start off by replacing the 3 spark plugs on the passenger side. And this is a little bit easier than doing it on the driver's side because you have to remove the intake manifold. But on this side, all you have to do is remove this intake tubing. So all we got to do that is to loosen up this screw here as well as this screw here. Once those screws are loose, all I got to do is pull the tube. And then we're not going to remove it completely. We're just going to lay it on its side, and you'll notice now we have full access to the 3 spark plugs here, here, and here on the passenger side. And to get at these, all you're going to have to do is each one of these has a 10mm bolt here, here, and here. Just get at that with the socket, undo your wire clip, and then this will slide up. To get at this 10mm bolt for the middle spark plug on the passenger side, I actually had to remove 2 10mm bolts here and here. And once those are removed, this simply just was able to come out, and I was able to move that so I have access to that. Once we've gone ahead and got all of our wire clips off, all we have to do is now lift this part out. And then, as you'll see, now have access to get at that spark plug. Now that we have access to the spark plug, we're going to use a socket wrench with a 12-inch extension and a socket wrench attachment. Just wanted to quickly show the difference between the new spark plug and the old one. This is obviously the new one that I'm installing. You can see the igniter. The old one is pretty freaking charred. Now that we've gone ahead and replaced the spark plugs on the passenger side, we now need to do the driver's side. To do that, we're going to need to remove the intake manifold to get at them. And the first step in this process is to remove 5 10mm bolts. One here, one here, one here, one here, and then one on the side over here. Now that we've got the throttle body off, we don't need to disconnect any of the hoses. I've just set it aside. Just wanted to get it unbolted from the intake manifold so that this whole part can lift out. To get the intake manifold out, first you're going to want to disconnect this air inlet hose, undo this bolt, and set this part aside. And then we're going to start unbolting the intake manifold. There's 5, or actually I believe 6 Allen key, or 5mm Allen key bolts. There's one here, one here, one here, one here. There was one here and I removed it, and there's also one down there. Now to get at the middle one here and the back one down here, I've actually used a drive bit adapter, 1/4 inch with a 5mm hex extension. I was originally using a 3/8 drive, but it was too big to fit down this skinny hole, so I couldn't get at it. So definitely would recommend a 1/4 inch 5mm hex key, or use this setup that I am. Now that we've removed all the 5mm hex keys, we need to remove 2 10mm bolts, one here and one here. Now that we've got all of our 10mm bolts, our 5mm hex keys out, our hoses all just in clamps disconnected, we have a couple 12mm bolts to do. There's one right here, a 12mm bolt for the fuel line, and way back there you can kind of see the bolt underneath the fuel line right there. That's a 12mm bolt that holds the intake manifold down. We'll need to get that one out as well. One of the things that I got that made the job a lot easier was a 1/4 inch drive with a swivel head. And the reason why I say 1/4 inch is because obviously a 3/8 is bigger. So this is smaller, and I was able to actually snake it around the back of the manifold and get an angle on it with the swivel head. Definitely recommended for this job. Once all your hoses are disconnected, connectors are disconnected, all the bolts are done, the manifold should come right out like that. Oh, there is one hose. Now that the intake manifold is off, you'll see that we'll have access to the 3 spark plugs on the driver's side, and the process from this point is the exact same as what we did on the passenger side. You have your 10mm bolts, your spark plug connector, electronic connectors, you're going to do those, and everything else should be pretty simple from this point on. One of the things you're also going to want to do, since you're taking out the intake manifold, is replace your gaskets. So these guys right here, you can actually get a replacement. They come in a set of 3. I got it at Advanced Auto Parts, and you're just going to want to replace this one, and this one before you put the intake manifold back on.